I see quite a few familiar faces in this room, so most of you know what I'm about and what I do. All right. On March 29th, 1973, the combat forces were withdrawn from Vietnam, and the hostilities were supposed to have ceased. We found out years later they actually continued. It was never reported in the newspaper, culminating in Marines being killed at the embassy on April 29th, 1975, the day before the war officially ended on April 30th. I hope I got that date right, in 1975. Now, I'm mentioning these dates, and parts of what I'm talking about today are for the younger folks who may not know. For those of you who don't know this history, I know I'm preaching to the choir. And by the way, I was very honored to be asked to do this. I started my educational journey at this very institution back in 1983. And in the audience is my advisor, my friend, and the son of a World War II veteran, David Hughes. Thanks for being here. It means a great deal. And I've been asking my father-in-law to watch me do this sort of thing for a while now, and he finally came along to one of these. My father-in-law is a Vietnam veteran. Thanks for coming, Ted. Appreciate it. So anyway, on April 30th, 1975, the war ended, or so we thought. Now I'm mentioning this because I was somewhere between 11 and 12 years of age when that war ended. Honestly, I was surprised when I was asked to do this invocation today, because it should be one of you folks, not me. So I'll do the best I can. So between the ages of 11 and 12, I heard about this war ending, and I didn't know, or I didn't think I knew at that time, too many Vietnam veterans. And all I had, most of my so-called information came from the media, movies. And the way the media portrayed Vietnam veterans so many times over, as Angela was just saying, was beyond terrible. Those guys were demonized, marginalized, etc. And I'm very grateful that I have come to know since then so many of you, so many Vietnam veterans, and to find out that exactly the opposite is true. What a lot of the young folks don't know in this room is the Vietnam guys all saw their fathers packing up and serving during the bloodiest conflict the world has ever seen. A lot of people believe known as World War II, which unfortunately is not taught in schools anymore, and it should be. And the Vietnam guys wanted to follow in their father's footsteps, the greatest generation, right? And go over there and do their part. Their fathers, in case you don't know, came home 1945 when World War II ended to ticker tape parades and industrial strength GI Bill. They were treated as heroes. And when the Vietnam guys came home, they were treated with indifference, apathy, hostility, ridicule. And that is something from which they, nor we as a nation, have recovered. Now, for those of you who may not know, I am a psychologist and psychoanalyst, and I'm in private practice right over in this unit, and I specialize in working with veterans and first responders, fighting with the invisible wounds that Angela was speaking of just a moment ago. In other words, a monster known as post-traumatic stress disorder. And for whatever reason, the combat guys, including the Vietnam veterans, male and female, feel comfortable around me, I don't know why, to tell me what went on in those jungles. The heat, the humidity. I will not divulge their covenant by telling you what some of the things they told me. You wouldn't sleep. But because of their stories, because of what they have felt free enough to tell me, I can tell you this. When a combat veteran tells you or can bring themselves to tell you what they've seen, even just for a moment or three, it is tantamount to that person giving you a piece of their soul. And that is no exaggeration. And because of the stories they have been able to share with me in my personal and private life, I am here to tell you, everybody in this room, their valor was unmatched. Their bravery was peerless. Their sense of duty, second to none. And as Angela was saying, we need to remember their service. But I would submit, not just on holidays such as this, let's reach out to our Vietnam vets throughout the year and see how they are doing on days other than holidays. Make them feel heard. Make them feel welcome. Make them feel loved at long, long last. Veterans want to be heard. They do not want to be judged. And nobody is in a position to do that. Right? What a lot of the young folks in this room may not know is that when another conflict in the early 90s known as the Gulf War began, Sandbox 1, Sandbox 2, Just Cause, on forward, the Vietnam vets, so many of them, made sure, I repeat, made sure that the warriors returning from the wars after Vietnam were greeted at the airport with open arms, with respect, with love, to make sure that those who fought in the wars after Vietnam were treated far better than they were. And that, my friends, is called heroism. That is called selflessness. That is called duty. Let's never, ever forget their service, their contribution to American history and to world history is nothing short of immortal. Part of an invocation is supposed to be a prayer. I'm going to ask those who can stand, please do join me, if you will, in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into temptation, but
Deliver us from evil.
For thine
Thine
is
is
the
the
kingdom,
power, and the glory, and the kingdom, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you all.